Right. So to use statistical functions in the TI-83 or 84, we need to first enter data into the lists. Now, for this video, this was originally handout was created that we're going to look at was created when 84s were still relatively new, and the newer 84s have a lot more features on them. Um, the stats wizard may change some of the way that some of the functions in some of these videos are going to work. So if you're in a very, very new TI-84, if you're set in classic mode, then these videos will be very similar. On the other hand, if you have an older version of an 84 or you have an older 83 that you're working with, then these are exactly what you will see in your calculator. Now, there are 6 lists that are by default saved in the memory that we can enter data into. Now, unless somebody has deleted them already, they should have all of these lists in them to start with. Now, to get to the list, you're going to press the stat button, and the stat button is going to be on your calculator keyboard. It's going to be in the second row, the third key over from the left. So you'll have on that second row the alpha key, the variable key, and then the stat key. And from there, in the edit menu, you're going to hit enter because it loads at the edit line. And then what will come up is you'll get these screens. If you scroll over, you'll see all 6 lists, hopefully. List 1 shows up first. And again, if you keep scrolling, you should be able to scroll over to the other lists. Now, generally, we're going to use list 1 or maybe list 2 to enter our data. If you want to store a lot of data, then you may use other lists, but list 1 and list 2 typically are what we use when we're just doing a series of problems. We just overwrite what we have. Now, if there was already data in the list, you can clear the data. You do not hit delete, because if you hit delete, you will delete the entire list from memory, and then you won't be able to use it anymore. So instead, what you're going to do is you're going to scroll up to where the name of the list is. So your cursor is here, scroll up so that it highlights list 1, and then press the clear button, which is on the third row of your keyboard, all the way over on the right side. It's right underneath the cursor movement buttons, your navigation buttons. Again, don't press delete because that will delete the list entirely. But if you press clear, then it will delete the contents of the list, but leave the list in place. Now, another way to clear a list is from the stat menu itself, and then select 4. You can see from our menu up here, there is a clear list function, and then using the enter keys, and then press enter. And then it will ask you for the list that you want cleared. So for L1, you would type L1, which is the second key, the top left, followed by the 1 key. You can see in blue the color that matches your second key. Printed above the 1 is L1. That will enter list 1 after the clear list function. And then when you press enter again, it will clear the list. So what your screens will look like, you've got some data here. You go to clear list. This will become a function on your main screen. Second 1 will get you list 1. And when you hit enter, it will say done when it's deleted the information from the list. Now for our example, we're going to enter data into the list. So this is the data that we want to enter in list 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, and 11. And this is the data we want to enter into list 2, 3, 6, 9, 1, and 12. Now, when you are in the list menu, so you're up here entering data, after you enter each number, simply press enter and it will move down the list, and then you can enter the next one. So 2 enter, 5 enter, 7 enter, 9 enter, 11 enter. We'll enter that first set of lists, and then you would scroll over to list 2, and then you can enter 3 enter, 6 enter, 9 enter, 12 enter, and then all of the data will be in the list. If you are in the contents of the list and you want to type over a value because you've made a typo, just scroll to that value and then retype the value and press enter. If you just want to delete an entry, scroll to that entry and then press delete. Now, if you just want to add a new value, then just go to wherever the cursor is right below the previous value and then press and then type the new value. If you want to insert a value in the middle of the list, then go to the place where you want the new value to appear, press the second key and then the delete key for the insert operation, and then enter the new data. When you press enter, it will push the list down and it won't just type over the old value. Sometimes when we're doing statistical operations, the order of the values in the list matters. And so that's why if you missed a value, you might need to go back and insert it somewhere in the middle of the list. Now, once you have the data in the lists, you can also do arithmetic on data in the lists. So for example, if I want to create L3 by multiplying the contents of list 1 and then adding it to list 2, I can put my cursor at the top of list 3. So again, scroll over to list 3 and then scroll up to highlight list 3 here on the screen. And then on this line down at the bottom, you'll be able to enter your formula. So you would type 2 list 1s. Remember, list 1 you get from second and then 1. And then you would just plus. And then to get list 2, you would do second and then 2. And that will produce list 2. And then when you hit enter, that operation will be conducted on elements in the list and it will be entered into list 3. Now, alternatively, you can do this on the main screen rather than in the list screen. So if you want to get out of this list screen and go back to the main screen, what you're going to do is you're going to hit second and the mode key. Notice that quit is typed above the mode key, so this will get you the quit function. You'll be back to the main screen, and then we can use the store function, which is right above your on-off switch, to store an operation from the main screen into the list. So what we would type is 2 times second 1 for, again, second 1 is how you get L1, then the addition key, and then second 2 will get you L2. This first 2 out front is the 2 times L1. And then the store button will tell the calculator, I want to store the result of this operation into list 3, which you get list 3 from second 3. Again, above the 3 key, you see L3 in print there. Second will access that operation. And then what will happen when you hit enter at the end of this set of keystrokes is that operation that we did in the previous example directly in the lists will also be done, and those values will still be stored in list 3. And if you want to look at the values in list 3, then just on the main screen, type second 3 and then hit enter, and it will print out the values that are stored in that list. Now, in future videos, then once we have data entered, then we'll be able to perform statistical calculations on them, such as summary statistics or doing correlation or regression calculations or other kinds of statistical functions.